we're gonna kick this off with a hypothetical. All right. Let's just say
Is it involving Luke?
maybe.
Give this guy a microphone.
It's just a hypothetical. All right. But let's say someone says like, "Hey, I'm looking to get into running. I'm going to sign up for this half marathon. Will you do it with me?" And they agree to it, right? What happens if that friend backs out on the other friend? Are they a real friend? The only reason why they said they wouldn't do it. This is asking for a friend, by the way. The reason why they said they didn't do it is because
such a dumb hypothetical.
We're gonna get clipped.
I feel like this isn't a hypothetical.
So the reason why the second friend couldn't make it to the half marathon was because they simply said, "I've already done that before, and I don't want to do it again."
It's not true. Somebody had to run our store, Jeff.
We had employees, Kyle. Kyle, we had employees. It was just how long is your half marathon? You really can't be there. Like,
I don't know. I feel like it.
if someone agreed to do it,
No, they're going back on their word for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
That's a strike one for sure.
You guys would have to know Jeff really well to
Rock the Parkway
understand.
half marathon by myself.
Is this the previous Rock the Parkway?
Finished it by myself. No one there for me at the finish line.
That's a great race
No.
too.
Didn't know anybody. No friends
Listen.
here.
Listen.
Just my one buddy Kyle said he'd do it with me.
I have maybe in my life ran 1,000 more miles than Jeff has.
That's not true. I'm doing
very
Orange
true.
Theory currently.
I say we
For the
pull the
last
Strava
6
right
months.
Yeah.
But there's been periods of your life that I was running far more than you all the time.
He did do like
This is Jeff though. Hey, hold on. Listen, this is what Jeff does.
He was an Iron Kid.
Jeff-
as a kid. He was an Iron Kid.
Legitimately will mention something to you 3 months goes by without him mentioning it, and then he'll be like, "Oh, I'm running that race this weekend.
I signed
Will
up
you
6
be there?"
I
And
signed
I'll
up
be
6
like,
weeks in
"Dude,
advance.
no, I have."
I signed up 6 weeks in advance, and every single day was like, "Man, training for this half marathon." I'm like, "How's your training going, dude?" And
Kyle's like, "You didn't
and
sign up."
he was like,
talking about?
and like a week after he said he was going to do it, he was like, every single answer was like, I mean,
I got a kid.
what you
I'm
need
not
to do?
sleeping well
he
right
hadn't
now.
had a kid. He hadn't had a kid yet.
Oh, she was
Just
pregnant.
sign him up for another one. You gotta do another one.
Yeah, I said, dude, I'm like, hey, like, how you gonna think this up to me? We're 7 years into this. You looking me in the eye and lying to my face.
I would love
Still
to.
in business.
I would love to do a race.
This is our biggest argument we've had.
Yeah.
In business
Doesn't-
part.
It's still going on.
Absolutely, dude. He still tries to make excuses. He
Is
hasn't
this
even
why
said
we're
sorry
here?
yet.
We need to talk about
Hasn't even
this.
said sorry yet.
I'll do a half marathon because I feel like, and you guys can correct me on this because you guys are professionals, but you can kind of get away with gutting out a half marathon.
Sure.
You cannot do that with a full marathon.
Certainly not.
When I finished the half marathon I did in St. Louis, have you guys ever done the St. Louis half marathon?
No.
Not yet.
It was the go.
The go
Okay. Yeah.
is there. It's hilly in downtown St. Louis, but anyways, you can gut it out. But when I crossed the finish line and I thought about doing that all over again. I was like, absolutely not. I could never even think about doing what I just did all over again.
Yeah.
Mile 10 through 12 or 10 through 13 for me was like, I didn't even remember it.
Yeah.
I was just blacked out.
But I think anyone could do a half marathon. Mm-hmm. They could just go out and run it. It'd be hard. You'd hurt.
That was on 6 days.
But you could.
6 days training right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
The
I've
go was-
always said if you can run 4 miles, you can run 6. If you can run 6,
You
you
can
can
run
run 10. If you can run 10, you can crank out a half.
Yeah.
100%.
We the longest
big
I'd ever
thing-
done was 6 before I did the
Sure.
half marathon.
Oh,
Which
you
was like
could
4 days
easy.
before the half
Yeah.
marathon.
Yeah.
I was like, see how 6 feels.
Yeah.
Sure.
As long as you don't come out too hot.
100%.
As long as if you set your expectations like pretty low and you're trotting and you're not like
Yeah.
I was just
running
chilling with the 2.5
hard.
hours pace setter.
Yeah.
Just chilling with
Sure.
that.
You got to run your way.
Yeah.
Not gonna feel good, but
I was a Clydesdale out there. You know, it
Yeah.
was a lot. But we're gonna
What were you
we're gonna
guys'
do it again. I promise.
What were you guys' first races? Or what
My-
got you into running?
Well, those are two very different questions.
Yeah, Kyle just throwing them out.
Well, the reason I said that is because honestly, the first half marathon that I did was like an introduction to me into like, oh, this isn't so bad. Before then, I used to equate running with like, this sucks.
yeah.
Sure.
To be fair, I think a lot of our listeners could relate to this if they grew up playing sports, but running was typically punishment.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
So
That was
it's,
me.
it's very hard to look at it as a positive if you've grown up thinking always that running is a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I was running in soccer, basketball, suicides, all that. Hated it.
Yeah, if you mess up at practice or whatever,
You run.
it's
You gotta go.
go
You're
touch the
talking.
pole or
Go
go
run.
run around that, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We get in trouble for talking.
Oh,
about
all
it?
the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
No
All
one
the
saw
time.
that. No one saw that coming. Same
Take a
issues
lap.
over here. Yeah. So let's be very specific. How did you two meet? Because for our listeners here, you guys run the biggest run club in Kansas City. It is called the Kansas Run Club,
Kansas Run Club.
but it's in Missouri,
Yes.
and we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Well, first off, how did you guys meet?
Cool. I think that story starts probably before we met. So I started running because of COVID. I needed to get out of the house, needed some alone time, right? And so after I started running for a little bit, I realized that running sucks by yourself. It has never been fun. It's never been something I've wanted to do. It's just something that I need to do, almost therapeutic, right? And so I started posting on social saying, hey, this is my running schedule. Someone come run with me. I started forcing my roommates. I started forcing some of my friends to go. Realized it was still just me showing up at this coffee shop by myself. No one's wearing any athletic clothes. And I go on a run, come right back. That happened for a couple weeks. And then pretty soon I started reaching out to some people I've never heard of before. One of these people were Mary Payne.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to Mary Payne on social media, and I think you can take it from here.
Yeah, no, I get a random DM on my fitness page, and he was like, "Hey, I started a run club." And Jacob's personal Instagram does not say his name, so I have no idea what this guy's name is. And he
What
said,
was the username or something? Was it like,
QIJB. It's like his first.
that'd have been cool if it was like Taco Bell fanatic.
No,
Not yet. We can always change it. We can change it.
No, I get a random message, and he's like, "Hey, I started a run club. Do you want to go on a run?" And I was like, I've never said no to run. I've never said no to some random thing. Let's go. And so he was like, hey, 6 a.m. We're meeting on Saturday, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And I tell my sister, I'm like, we're going to run with this guy on Saturday morning. And so we go, we run like 3 miles around downtown Kansas City, just talking the entire time, hit it off. And then from there, he's like, we're next Saturday. I was like, bet, next Saturday. And then I started talking to him. I was like, who wants to come? Come to Run Club. We got Run Club. And then from there, just...
Yeah, and Mary's leadership into the club also started because she was the very first stranger that I've never met before that showed up to Run Club. So I've always had all my friends show up. I've always had when I say all my friends, I mean it was like 4 or 5 people max. Mm-hmm. And then this girl shows up, and I'm like, oh shoot, this girl, hello, and it was a formal handshake. Hi, I'm Jacob. Are you here for Run Club? Great. And it was just me.
Did any of your friends show that?
It was just me, Mary, and her sister Liz.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, come meet us.
Yeah.
We're a huge club. We're a great club.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like, there's usually more people here.
Yo,
I swear.
it's a bad day. It's a bad day today. For
I
sure.
have that video, and that's for months. We just kept showing up, just kept posting. It would be 4 people, 5 people, 2 people, 1 person, 6 people. It just kept varying. And I remember the day that we had 9 people, and it was we got 9 people. I guess so
yeah,
dope.
it was monumental.
Yeah.
and so I think that's probably the story about how we met and how we
Yeah.
started this thing called Kansas Run Club.
And
Very
so,
cool.
I mean, dude, I can't wait to see Luke, why don't you cue us a video of show us that.
Oh no, these are liabilities.
That's, look how cute
9
they
people.
are.
Man.
I'm obsessed. Do you see those 2 in the front with the strollers, Eddie and
Yeah,
Estrella?
yeah.
They are the goats in Kansas City run. They go to every run club.
Oh, damn, Kyle. Sorry, dude. Yeah. I knew who he was talking about.
Yeah, ST's wearing ST Faction.
I was
They go
saying,
to every
ST
run
shirt.
club. They got twins in the green stroller, and then their little boy Nico in the blue
Dude, that's
stroller.
Eddie Barajas.
That's what
Eddie
I
Barajas.
said.
And
You said
Estrella.
That's why I pointed at him.
Yeah,
They're
I just-
incredible. They go
I
to
saw
ours.
them at Percheron.
Yes, they go to Percheron. They go
Yeah.
to A16. They go to Kansas. They go to Runs on the Lawn or Fridays on the Lawn. They go to everyone's.
When Kyle and I were just working the store ourselves, and it was just us at the counter in Overland Park, Eddie was one of our customers.
He's a
I
homeboy.
love it. Yeah,
He's a man. Dude,
he's
he's
awesome.
he's
He's one of the coolest people if you get to know him.
Yeah,
Just good human, man. Just good energy all the time.
They're so good.
Totally.
There's a, when you're starting to run, there is a period there where there's nothing about it that's fun. It's just when you're kind of out of shape and you're not in good run shape.
Sure.
It's terrible for I don't know, 3 months, 6 months or something like that. And then you kind of get over the curve. And you're like, oh, I kind of like this.
You're speaking on this as if you are identifying yourself as a runner.
I'm not.
You're saying
Kyle, I feel like you could be.
you're saying the 3 to 6 month as if you've lived
Yeah,
this
he
so
went
many
through that.
times.
Kyle has run 1,000 more miles than you. We've talked about this before.
1,000 miles more.
More than that.
When you were in Iron,
if you guys really knew, more than that.
was this what it was like at Iron Kids?
Listen, but anyways, what I was trying to get to
actually
say,
pulled up your
it
Strava.
it seems like getting involved in a run club would basically help that 3 months to 6 months of suck
100%.
less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
You
to
asshole.
your point, to your point though, Jacob, when you said you were running by yourself, you're like, this isn't fun. And so
It sucks.
Like you're saying, to your point, it's like if you bring around other people, hey, like if we're going to get better at this, might as well do it together. You know, like I'm just saying when I just started, when I just
You're
started
talking like you're some kind of runner now.
not at all. So 6 months ago I started Orange Theory, and it's just because I'm like, man, I haven't gotten any cardiovascular shape in a long time. So when I started, I'm like, it didn't suck. I just went at the pace that made me feel like it didn't suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's what
I'm like, it doesn't
slow
have to
down.
suck for anybody that's getting
No,
started.
yeah.
Just, Mike, who when he was on the podcast, he gave some great advice. He said, if you can't hold a conversation while you're running, then you're going too fast.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, your cardiovascular shape will catch up. Just
Yeah.
continuously be able to hold a conversation and not be you know, heavy breathing the whole time.
I think it's hard for some people too because they see what's out, people posting their runs, their times, and their distances.
Totally.
And so it's a lot of comparison, like, oh, that person's running this pace. Let me try that. And it's way too hard. They go out way too fast. 1 mile sucks. They never run it again.
Right.
It's just like slow down, run your way, run how you run, walk, chill.
Yeah. And nobody's going to post a shitty
pay.
run, right?
Yeah,
It's always going to be like,
the-
hey,
the
check
fast
this
people
out.
posting their runs. Yeah. I post some slow runs.
I
about that later.
I post only slow runs because that's just
Yeah.
that's just
It's all
what I
your
got.
options you
That's what I
have.
got right now. Yeah, dude. I'm just proud to post a run.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
You should be.
You know, I'm just psyched to be running.
That's good.
Dude, there's times in my life where like running sounded like it would be like the hardest thing ever. To be
Yeah.
honest, I've been 290
That's where I was
pounds.
accumulating those 1,000 miles on them.
Dude.
Yeah.
Kyle used to be 260, dude.
No, that's impressive though that you're getting after it. That's good.
I appreciate it. I mean, you know, trying to make myself proud
It
out
is
there.
hard. Yeah.
We're here every Wednesday, 6:30.
I love it. 6:30 here at our podcast.
You know what?
studio.
You can run wherever you want to run. I will be elsewhere.
Yeah.
I'll join you. 6:30 here
But it's 6:30 a.m. or p.m.
PM.
It's p.m.
at the plaza.
Has it always? But you guys switched it to Wednesday. Why from Saturday to Wednesday?
Yeah, 100%. So it has always been something that was convenient for me to be running on Saturday mornings. And it was at a coffee shop that was across the street from the apartment that I lived in the Crossroads.
Which coffee shop?
Rochester Roasters.
Good spot.
Shout out.
Yeah, they're so
Holy cow. And so then once I actually moved around, I was like, shoot, there's a better location that might work for me. And at the same time, we actually moved our location to REI in Overland Park. And the reason for that was Alex, who's the founder of Fridays on the Lawn. He said, hey, we want to invest in a club in the area. We see what you're doing. We see that you need some help. We would love to help out. And so then we moved our club to Saturdays at the same time in the mornings in Overland Park. And then I moved again.
Not a lot of people were showing up. You know, it's the suburbs.
Totally.
You know, a lot less younger people, and then also it's Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. Like not a lot of people are going to show up. So the move to the plaza with Lululemon, it like attracted a whole new level of like demographic.
It's such a safe place, a safe name. That Lululemon word too is just a good L word outside of love.
Yeah.
And it was just really welcoming the entire
puppy,
time.
They're so cute.
You got some really. I mean, plus, I think the Rock the Parkway. You know, a lot of people have done that run before.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so there's some familiar running territory there. I bet. I would say the running territory there seems to be probably twice as good as the.
It's also
Overland
like way
Park.
more scenic. Like
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
like it's just such a better place to run.
and
it feels
people
like.
love it too. Like people on the streets, they will clap for us, and they're always like, what
Cars are honking. You think
Yeah.
they're mad, and they're like cheering in their windows and stuff.
cool.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
We'll yell at people. People are like, "What are you doing?" And we're like, "Next Wednesday, 6:30."
How often? So, out of the percentage of the people that show up for the run clubs, how much are coming for the social environment, and how much are coming for because they're training towards a particular running goal?
Yeah.
Good question.
It all started for the community aspect of it. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not much of an athlete. I don't have a username that is got Payne like your beloved over here. And so I've always been there for, hey, I just want to bring people together. Let's have some fun. And then when people start coming for the run, that was honestly a little shocking for me because I'm like, there are other clubs in the metro that can do a much better job training you to be the athlete that you want to be. And then they realized that, hey, actually, I came for the run, come for the run, but stay for the community, right? And so that's exactly where Kansas Run Club does differentiate ourselves from other clubs. We're not the first one to say, hey, come for the people, but we're just a great area to say, hey, this is the plaza, grab a beer afterwards, go on a run. If you want to do something hard and challenging, come before, but finish with us and stay with us.
Yeah. I know it's a cute thing. We started like probably a year into it. A few people showed up early. They were like, let's get some pre-miles in. And so now we have like a mini club that runs at 5:30. They do 3 miles, meet up for the second half, the next 3 miles with the rest of the club. So but it's up to like 30 people now, which is like some normal club sizes.
So they were coming for, you're looking for more intensity in the run
extra
aspect?
mile. And those are usually the people training for something that have like to get their mileage in.
Sure.
So they're just trying to tack on an extra 3 or 4, whatever, maybe. Yeah. So, and then they'll end the night with like 6 or 7 or 8 miles.
So with the community aspect, how many are you seeing though that are, community aspect, I think welcomes more people. Obviously makes it a less intimidating atmosphere for someone who's getting into it for the first time. How many are sinking their teeth in though and saying, hey, you know what? I want to be a part of, an organized run, like a 5K, 10K.
So many. I think like a lot of the people that have so many people have shown up as like, this is my first time ever running, or it's my first mile I'm going to run this year. And then they leave at the end of the year having ran like a race or a 5K or a 10K or a half marathon.
Very cool.
Yeah.
We got this is like a serious question for some people. It's like it's a rift in some families, but we got a Thanksgiving run coming up. Turkey trot.
There are 2 types of people.
Yeah. And what types of people
This
are you
is
guys?
a big problem.
What are you guys going to do?
Oh, I'm running.
I'm sleeping in.
Oh, that's so funny.
For sure.
Yeah. Guess what? Kyle, guess what? I'm signed up for the turkey trot, dude.
Oh, are you?
That's right.
Are you signed up?
Let's go.
That's right. We're doing
I'll be
it
in
here,
Alabama.
here at the Ward Parkway Shopping Center.
That's what I'm doing, yeah.
The
doing
good thing
it.
about
Yeah.
running, though, is you can do it anywhere. So
do
maybe
it
I'll do my
anywhere.
own turkey trot.
Hannah and Addie's joining me. The 3 of us are doing it.
How fun.
Getting
yeah.
down.
That'll be
Excited
good.
about it.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
I had to do a 5K for the dry try
Oh,
for
yeah.
Orange Theory. Holy hell. Because I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm like, I already like tested out, already like trained for one. It was the last thing on the list. I thought it was the first thing. So I'd already done like the rowing, the lifting, all that. So when I got to it, I was already gassed.
You were tired, yeah.
But anywho,
Hey, it's fun.
we can walk on this one on the turkey trot.
Will Addie run, or will you put her in a stroller?
That's a good question. She's 5 and she's always been a wagon girl. But we'll see. I think that we're going to tell her we finish what we start in this family and see how far that gets us.
I did my first 5K last year with
Kids, yeah.
kids.
Was it the cow one? It was like a funny cow one.
Yeah,
Was it?
it's
Running with the
running
cows. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Holy
cute.
cow.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was great for like maybe a third of it, and then the middle, the second third of it was awful, and
Just
then
crying.
the last, I literally was just carrying both my kids walking back.
Did you have Sully the whole time? Did Sully go at
Yeah,
all?
Sully and Maddie
Was he,
were
like,
the
on
ones
your
who
back?
cried. Clara was like, let's run. She's 6, so she's
Sure.
like a little bit different, but my younger ones,
They
my
were
4
over
and
it.
2-year-olds were like, what are we even doing out here?
I love that.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, but I'm sure it'll be fun. Memorable.
You got a running
nonetheless.
stroller? Because this is a real deal, dude. You got to get the running stroller.
We have a running stroller
Nice.
from Hannah before she met me.
Yeah. Nice.
I certainly didn't pick that up. Questions now for what's coming up. We got winter, right? So
For sure.
run clubs. I've seen all these videos, all these pictures. It's usually pretty sunny in these photos. What's these winter classes going to be like, or winter sessions going to be like?
Yeah. I think there's one thing that run clubs can do really well, and that's just provide consistency, right? And so when you do have that promise of staying true to your word, like we've talked about earlier, is saying, hey, we're going to be...
man. Gosh.
Thanks for looking at him and pointing at him. Thank you.
I was like, where are we going with this? Oh, God. The callback is brutal.
We're going to promise you one thing. We're going to be there, and we're going to be there at 6:30 p.m., right? And so whether it's you're here training and you don't want to train anymore, go run when it's convenient for you. But if you're here looking for the community, I can promise you that Mary, myself, and a handful of others are going to be there at the exact same time with open arms for you to be there, and we'll run with you the entire step of the way. And so when that winter does come, we're going to go through that with you. When the rain comes, we'll run in the mud with you, because I think a lot of us are missing that in our culture, in our communities, whether you're at work, whether you're at home. I don't care where you find it. We'll be that third space for you, and we'll do that every week.
Man.
All right, I got to ask.
It's inspiring, dude.
What's the temp that it cuts off? Because there's always a temp.
So that Chiefs game, that was
0
last
degrees.
year. That week it was also -5.
Yeah.
And we had about 20, 25 people there ready to run with us.
Whoa.
We've only missed 2 Wednesdays in the past 2 years.
And they were probably like,
One was a tornado.
One was tornado, and then one was the event after the Super Bowl that like the city shut down. So
Oh, right. Yeah. Some would call that the Super Bowl parade.
yeah.
Just give me shit.
Well,
The event.
Yeah.
what happened after? That's why we didn't.
I'm thoroughly impressed by that.
So impressed.
Just that you're just gonna go out in -5 degrees.
Yeah,
and
that's
run.
the gang.
But
That's
it's that's
2 weeks in the
horrible.
winter. It's bad. It's so cold. Like
You guys couldn't even fake it. Everybody was freezing in that
Yeah.
one. Bare hands, too. Not even a lot of gloves. What is going on?
it's my
people?
ears for me. My ears have to be. Oh, my comment. I said this group.
Hey, I mean, like, guys, I can't stress this enough. I'm not just gassing you up here. Like, that's just so, like, what you provide the community with that consistency is so important, so special. You know, we talk to our staff about this. It's like when there's like a snow day, et cetera, we always say, like, hey, we're always going to prioritize opening, not what you think. It's not so we can like make money that day. Like I can assure you, it's not that big a deal from what the 12 people that'll come in that day. Sure. You know, it's about the fact that they need to be able to rely on us to be there when they want us to be there. Always, over and over and over.
100%.
Again. And if you can't count on you, they're going to look for something else to count on. Right. And so I just think that's so special, especially for those who are maybe like new to the area. Or getting into some, you know,
wanting to stay consistent,
Yeah,
fall
just
off during the winter, which a lot of people
grow
do.
in other areas of their life, and part of that is being disciplined and being consistent. And so, how can you guys, you know, groom that for others if you're not doing it yourselves?
And the thing is too, like truly, like the reason why we keep going to, like we could stop. Like I could not go at any moment, and I could make a read, whatever. The people that run with us are incredible. Like our group of people that show up every single week. They're literally the best, and everyone's making friends. Like my favorite part is like I'll be like on social media scrolling and I'll see like 2 girls that met at Run Club getting coffee, or one guy's commenting on another guy's run that met at Run Club. Like the community that it's built and the people, the friendships that it's made, and the like, I don't know. It's like I'm obsessed. They're the best group of people.
And here's the thing also to know is it's not just isolated to the Kansas Run Club.
No.
Right? This is all the run clubs in the metro. This is run clubs all throughout the United States. Is when you bring like-minded people together, beautiful things happen, right? That's why you see places like this podcast do something that's super awesome and super successful, right? Same with supplement superstores. Like when you put really smart and good people in the same room, beauty just happens.
Yeah. People that, yeah.
I mean, that's like, awesome. You know, the whole thing with us wanting to do this podcast was just that. It was like, you know, how can, at one point, the Kansas City fitness community seemed kind of fractured. Like, you know, people that were in the Northland wouldn't communicate or, you know, work with people that were in Overland Park and whatnot. And we're like, man, what can we do to like try and help that, you know, help people come together from like, you know, the entire Kansas City area. And I'm not saying that like we've accomplished that. It's just like a goal that we're always like working towards.
That was the first community lift we've ever did, was to hopefully bring some people together that would never have come across the river for no other reason. You know?
No, your events are awesome.
Yeah. But it's basically the same mindset as you just said. It's just trying to bring people together because, you know, it's you guys have obviously noticed this, but like, you know, when people are trying to, you know, they have some kind of big goal or maybe they don't know where to go to, it's like, if you can provide them a community, then they will latch on to that goal and be able to stick with it a lot better. And I mean, that's our ultimate goal, is to get people results. And so if we don't provide a community for them, a lot of people are just going to fall off the wagon. You know?
It's not a matter if, it's a matter of when. You know, it doesn't matter who you are. There's going to be times where things don't feel as easy. Things don't feel like they're giving you the same return on investment, and you start to slow up, start to fall off, and you just need that community to have them, you know, to have your back, 1, but 2, to hold you accountable. Yeah. And I'm sure you guys do that for each other quite a bit.
Which is why you doing it in like the winter like that is so awesome.
Yeah.
Because those people are relying on you to be there, you know.
Those are the hardest days to get up and go run. Yeah. And we'll be there.
What's the distance on your guys' typical run?
3.
Always 3?
Yeah.
We always 3 miles for those Europeans.
Yeah. And then also,
no kilometers up in here. This is America.
No.
Not yet.
We'll do, and then if the guy, whoever wants to get in like some early miles, they'll hit 6 or 7 or 8. But it is crazy because like with New York City Marathon, so Jacob, a few of us ran it together, and Jacob actually like stuck with me the whole time. I had like a situation happen with my legs, and it was terrible. But we powered through, and it's hard, but it was great. But my whole training cycle, I did not run one run with AirPods. Like I did not listen to music one time this entire training cycle. I ran quite a few runs by myself, like if, just didn't fit in my schedule, like go to 816 or whatever it is. But I didn't listen to any music the entire training cycle. And so I was like, I know I'm not going to listen to it during the marathons. Like having friends with you, because I trained with my friends the entire training cycle. It never has happened. Like I've ran 2 marathons before that. I trained by myself the whole time. It was miserable. This last training cycle was like insane, running with my friends the whole time.
Just
it
nothing
was
but
so
joy.
much fun. 816 was Saturday runs, the long runs, and then Kansas Run Club. We have Track Tuesday. A bunch of us meet like a few times a week. I'm like with all my friends running.
So cool. No AirPods sounds like a nightmare to me, because it's like I feel like being able to kind of zone out is so much easier if you have AirPods.
Yeah. When you're by yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's like actually why the so like Freddie, our DM, he's done quite a few Ironmans, and he's like, at one point I was thinking about doing one with him, and the thing he said was like, yeah, man, when you run, you can't have AirPods. I'm like, you got to run a marathon with no AirPods. And he's like,
so you got to
train
not that
bad.
Buckle up.
I'm like, what do you think about besides I'm dying? dying.
It's tough. I mean, like when you're having conversations with your friends, it's the easiest. You look down and you're like, oh my God, already been this many minutes, or I've already ran this many miles.
And to Mike's point, if you can have that conversation, then you're going the right pace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So talk and it'll be good.
But just do an Ironman and make sure to have a friend.
I can't run next to you for that long. You'll be like, so man, what are you doing over there?
You start singing songs and it gets weird quick.
We did our first half marathon ever together, actually, at St. Louis Go,
cool.
and we were 8 miles in before I lost him.
I was I can't. Well, because like sometimes your running speeds are different.
Yeah.
That was the only thing is like I just couldn't.
I was running barefoot with one shoe.
It's true.
I'm like, talk about newbie, right? I was telling you 6 days, 6 days notice.
Yeah. I heard you.
I bought brand new shoes, never broke them in, nothing. Just like literally put them on for the first time to running them. And I got a stress fracture in my foot.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, dude, I have some ugly fat feet, so it's just not pretty down there.
I can totally
attest to that.
That is true.
No arches whatsoever.
And so today we actually do have a
Fred
special
Flintstone.
segment.
Yeah.
We're going to have you take your shoes off and put them on. I'm just kidding. Please.
Like, dude, if you guys want to go through that.
Hey,
Please no.
This is a good segue. How'd you guys partner with New Balance?
That's an awesome question. That's one of my favorite questions, actually. So we can't say New Balance with our rep, Adri. So Adri was a runner of ours that has just been running just casually with us on Wednesdays. She actually showed up when we were still on Saturdays at REI. And then pretty soon, just because there's a handful of number of people there, I started asking around like, hey, I meet this girl named Adri. What do you do? Oh, I work with New Balance. I'm like, oh, sick. That's awesome. What do you do there? And she's like, oh, I'm a local rep. I'm baffled because I'm like, I'm your perfect demographic. Why have you never
why have you not tried to
why
sell
have
New
you been
Balance?
hiding from me?
I have a business card.
Yeah, like what's going on? And then she says, yeah, this is how I decompress. I come to this run club, so I'm not on the clock.
Right.
And
it doesn't feel like work.
It doesn't feel like work. And then after a while, we're like, hey, just welcome home, right? This is where you need to be. We'll be your home. Screw it. We don't need anything from you. If you don't need anything from us, let's just have fun and let's keep on running together. After a while, she said, hey, Jacob, this would be a really good win for me if I could somehow partner with the Kansas Run Club. And so we said, absolutely, Adri, you're here as a runner first. You know our people, or people know you.
Yeah.
You're in the friend groups. We love you. And again, like, welcome home. And so how that partnership worked was just a ton of micro wins that kept on building on top of each other of relationships. So there was nothing that had to be sold. There was no contract signed. It'd say, hey, you do really good things for the community and we want to help.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly how New Balance got their foot in the door. I don't know if you have any different story or from a different angle.
No, that's just like Adri was like, just became one of our friends and like showed up every single week. Then she was like, also she was always repping New Balance, like full head to toe. And I was always like, oh, like I love your New Balance. It's coming back. Like,
100%.
New Balance made
And
a
she
comeback.
wasn't telling you at that point?
No, and I had no idea.
She was like, thanks.
And then she was like, oh no, like I work here, like we should, like this could be a really good thing. And it was dope.
Yeah. And so for at least the Kansas City Metro, what the color of New Balance, the flavor of New Balance, the smell of New Balance is everything that like Adri has done with the community. And so I think that's so special and how a brand was able to, from Greg all the way up through people in New Balance, is just being able to say, hey, we can win if we do things the way the community does them. And so that's exactly what they're trying to do, is go into these micro communities, we call it Kansas City, and say, how can we put our shoes on our runners, but what the Kansas Run Club does is I can promise you that I'll get people's hearts, minds, souls, you name it, to the plaza, and their feet are going to follow, right? And so that's something that New Balance found a lot of interest in, and they've just been super supportive along the way.
Yeah, I think the relationship, is symbiotic of, what you guys stand for, and the fact that she showed up for all the right reasons first, just, it makes it, I think what you're looking for. How did that partnership go with Lululemon? Was it the same way?
Yeah, so I walked in their doors and said, I got something that you're going to want to be a part of. I probably shouldn't have done it that way.
No, you did it perfectly.
They said, see you later. We're still at REI at the time. We're looking for a little bit of a new location. And then at some point there was a coming to Jesus moment where they said, hey, let's reconvene this story. Let's see if we can bring something to Lululemon. And said, yeah, we want a place to call our home. And they said, we'll be that for you. And so with that, there was weekly giveaways and things of the sorts, so we could start bringing people to that new location with some sort of incentive.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so week after week, they've been welcoming with arms wide open. And then actually just about a month and a half ago, we started to outgrow the corner on the plaza when we started reaching some larger volume. So now we moved over across the street to the Mill Creek Park in the Country Club Plaza.
Yeah, but think about, I don't know how many pieces of clothing they've sold just from you guys running there, but I would bet it's a lot.
Yeah. And
especially as it gets colder and stuff, and people are like, man, I need a headband. Or
There are
did
times
some good partners or like giveaways with us too.
There are times where we see people yell out their windows, say, are you a run club? Yes, we are. They park their cars, they go into Lululemon, they buy the shoes, they buy the socks, they buy the shorts and the shirt. And then they say, hey, I'm here to run. And like, we already left. They say, oh no, I just got my clothes. Where'd they go? You point that way, and then they just start sprinting. So
yeah, we had some people in from LA. They were like on a work trip, and they were just going to dinner at Jack Stack, I think. Yep. And they were like, what are you guys doing? They're like, oh, we'll go to our hotels and get clothes. They came back like 20 minutes later in Lululemon fits, and they were like, oh no, we just went and bought some clothes. We're ready to run.
Oh,
from
nice.
LA. Yeah. They're like, this is amazing.
Dude, I love the spontaneity.
Yeah.
If I'm saying that word right.
Yeah, but their hospitality has been just ginormous.
Good to hear it. Are you guys thinking?
I think that adds to the coolness of run clubs like that. Is somebody from like another town can be in your city and be like, "Yo, are you guys run club?" And then they just jump in with you guys.
Yeah.
And it's not like some gyms where you have to. There's a barrier to entry. Yeah, it's just kind of like everyone knows how to run, and it's like if you're interested in that, you can just jump in.
Yeah, and that's just like cool. all over the country too. Yeah. I went on one in Austin and Nashville. They're everywhere, but like. Yeah, you just can look it up now on social media and jump into any run club. It's so fun.
Very cool.
There's we've been speaking about a lot of positivity, which I'm psyched about.
Let's talk about some negative stuff now.
For sure. Well, some maybe a little more spicy. Real truth here is over time when you do something great, like you guys, when you started this run club, it wasn't with the intention of taking away anything from anybody else. You guys had nothing but pure intentions, and that, really grew organically through those pure intentions. And so what I see is that run clubs were going on a long time before you guys started this. So since you started it, is there any people you've rubbed the wrong way because maybe you robbed them of some of their members, or you, in their eyes, you robbed them of some of their members maybe? Is there some stories that you guys may have where it wasn't met with so much positivity just purely because of the amount of numbers you guys are drawing?
Is there gang fights within running clubs?
Yeah.
No, I feel like the only pushback I feel like we ever got was from people on the plaza that aren't running with parking. And in my opinion, Kansas City has a crazy amount of parking compared to other bigger cities. So I'm like, there's a lot of parking.
You're never going to win this argument.
I'm also part of Kansas Run Club, so I'm like, what? Relax. It's one day of the week.
Yeah. We're going to get clipped so hard.
It's so hard. I'm just like, the amount of people that complain about parking in Kansas City when it's like the most easy place to park.
Yeah.
Wild to me.
So I think that's the only pushback I've ever seen of like, it's from like just the parking situation downtown. And it's tough. Like, our runners have to walk like 6 or 7 blocks to get to Run Club because there's 300 people parking on the plaza to run with us. Like that's 300 extra cars. So yeah, I feel like that's the only pushback. Between other run clubs, I feel like there's not a lot. There's nothing.
Running is such a fluid sport that you can run every day of the week, right? And so if you find a club, even if you go to our website, like we have a page dedicated to finding other clubs, right? Like, so if you don't run on Wednesdays, don't run on Wednesdays, right? If Tuesday works best for you, we got Perch Run, right? And there's so many, if Friday works the best, Friday's on the lawn. Oh my gosh, this is whoever built this website put way too many. That's too many blocks.
But those are the big ones. Run 816 every Saturday.
And there's probably 10 more that aren't on this list that I just don't know of yet, or I am just too lazy and can't spend that time in the morning before work just acting like I know how to build a website. But
have you guys ever done like a fun meetup with another run club where they all come to yours and you guys all go to theirs?
Did we do an official meetup?
I don't know if we did anything on paper, but that's totally a great idea.
That is,
it would just be fun to do a collab like that, like make collaborative post, like have your say like, hey, we're all if you can make it on this Thursday, and vice versa.
With the Kansas City Marathon, we did do a shakeout with all the clubs in the metro, and so that was at Union Station. All the clubs were invited, and so we did have a pretty good turnout to that, and I think that was a great time to actually shake some hands, give out some hugs. If people are like, oh my gosh, like we go to all these other rug clubs, so like if Mary went to that, or you did. Yeah. Nobody knew if Mary was there for Kansas Run Club or 816 or Fridays on the Lawn because she's at all of them anyway.
I'm there for all of them. I love them all. Very there it is.
Man, that's awesome. Especially with you guys doing this stuff in the winter too. Do you guys have any events or anything that you promote outside of just showing up on Wednesday? Is there anything you guys do above that?
Oh, yeah. A big one we do is Run Her Way. It's our all women's run, and we do it quarterly with New Balance. So Adri is kind of our lead on that, and she leads it with New Balance, bringing them in. And it's all girls welcome. We like calling all the girls in Kansas City. And we want to provide a space for women that they feel safe, empowered, that they can run in the dark. There's so much that happens these days with women in running and in sports, and just so many like sad things and scary. Women are scared to go work out by themselves or go on a run by themselves.
And, especially now it's pitch black.
And I used to,
PM,
like the fact that I used to, when I was like 2018, 2019, 2020, I would run at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. by myself all over Kansas City. I can't do that now. I don't want to do that. I am looking back every 5 seconds. And so it's a frustration, but something that we have to deal with. And so our women's run, we want to give them a space that like, you're here, we got you. Like, let's all run together at night. We give fun things away, and it's just so fun for the girls. So we have Run Her Way.
The barrier of entry for runners at the Kansas Run Club is super low.
Yeah.
And I realized that when there was a need that wasn't hit, so for the Run Her Way, this was when we were doing signups. The first Run Her Way was about 80 to 83% new first-time runners. Yeah. So there's people that are just sitting on the block, following us on socials, seeing what we're doing, and there's that little bit of an intimidation factor of saying, hey, I don't know what's happening. I kind of want to be a part of it, don't know how to get in. Run Her Way is that time to say, hey, we're for women, by women. Let's do things with each other. Let's have some fun with it and just have a hell of a time.
Yeah, Jacob doesn't go. No, there's no guys. It's just all girls. Like literally this past week, I think there were like 9 of them were their first time, and they follow Kansas Run Club, but they've never come to Wednesday. They were just like, they were excited to come, like it was their first run with the girls. It's like a little bit, easier, lower barrier to entry.
Mm-hmm. Certainly from a comfort level.
100%, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's, and then even on Wednesdays, you will talk, like every single Wednesday, there's like probably 15%, 20% are like first timers.
How do we get them to come back for a second time?
Actually, I was wondering that. So we hit like some pretty big numbers on our social media, and I was wondering of the 11K or whatever we're at, how many have come to Run Club? Like how many are just follow to follow? How many have come, and then how many are like every week? How many have come 3 or more times?
How many are consistent?
Yeah, we need to do some data analysis.
I don't know how you do that.
I don't either.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Some surveys.
Yeah.
But as far as the growth of the club, do you guys have a measure of success that you guys are shooting towards? Is it only just continue to do what you're doing, pouring into the community, and let it work itself out?
I think the best thing that can happen for the community is for the people just to get involved, right? And so the Kansas Run Club isn't like you said this earlier. It's like it's never been about the run. It's always been about the people that are going. And so our what do we call success is how can we make the community more like itself? And so the community can only be as good as the people that show up. So if I don't see you there, I don't know what we're missing out on. Right. And we need more of you. We need more Marys, right? We need more of the locals just to say, hey, I'm a part of something that's not my 9 to 5. I'm a part of something that's just not my home, but I'm a part of this third space that allows people to grow with each other. You can only learn from other people. Let's put people in front of each other.
Or if for any listeners that are thinking about going to the Run Club that haven't been to it yet, do you guys, before you guys take off, are you guys giving like advice on, hey, for anybody that's new out there, or for anybody that's been coming, like link up with somebody that's new, try and say hi. Are you guys giving like, or even telling them like,
walk us through just a person that's walking up in their shoes and they're just wondering, what do I do now?
Yeah. I think one thing I think our club does really well is meeting and introducing themselves to new people. And I think everyone just does such a good job, and it probably comes from seeing other people do it. So people are meeting new people immediately when they walk up, and calling, like, if you see someone alone, like, people will call them over and be like, hey, like, come over, what's your name? And then before we go, we like huddle everyone together, we take a photo, and it's always like, who's new here? Who's first timer? They raise their hands, high five them, learn their name. Whoever's like on the speaker will always be like, throw out a challenge, like learn something about them, run with someone new, learn their dog's name, like something fun. And then we kind of like encourage them to just be safe, don't fall. We've had a few slips in the winter. And watch out for cars.
What's the liability of that? Do you guys have?
How bad did it hurt, Mary?
Oh, no, it did.
Mary has fallen more than anybody else in the club.
I've been to more runs
And
than anybody
I don't
in the
know
club.
if it's because she's clumsy or if she's just loud about it, but it's one of the two.
Just a wild guess.
Yeah.
You guys are running in ice. I would guess that could be
Yeah.
an easy fall situation.
Oh, yeah. We do have some level of insurance. We can talk about that after hours.
I didn't think about that until then. I was just like, oh, I bet you guys have some kind of insurance to cover that.
But it's usually you that like runs into a car. Car's not running into you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we do hit more cars than cars hit us.
Yeah.
That's good.
If you guys were to like label a handful of other run clubs as far as just how they compare to you guys,
Jeff really wants you to talk some crap.
It's so funny though,
I just want you
because
to place different runners.
I feel like they're very not comparable. Like everyone's, and I think the only thing like that's similar is that they're all just for the community. Everyone's goal, in my opinion, in Kansas City is like to bring runners together and bring more people together and spread the word about running and get people out there. The like 816's goal, like Randy, he's my coach. I love him. I'm obsessed with 816. It's an incredible running club.
He's awesome. Former guest.
He sets up every week like 1 mile to 20 miles, puts water out every 2 miles. The route's amazing. He switches it up. You run all over Kansas City. You meet tons of new people. Like it's incredible, and it puts a lot of work and like effort into his setup. But he's helping those training for like a long run. So he's probably not going to get the girl that, it's her first time running. And that's okay. Like that's not his goal. He's trying to help like the people that are like training for long things and hard runs and stuff. And then Kansas Run Club, Percheron, Fridays on the Lawn. There's a bunch that are like more community, like this is like for you to make some friends, meet someone new, have a third space, like get out of your comfort zone. Don't just go home after your 9 to 5. Like come out, be in the community, meet some people, make an impact, like all those vibes.
Love that.
Yeah.
What's this Fridays on the Lawn one?
Sorry.
You're great.
Fridays on the Lawn, yeah.
Yeah, Fridays on the Lawn is put on together by Alex and a couple other of his buddies, but they meet at Strang Hall in Overland Park, and it's a handful. I mean, it's a couple dozen people that meet every Friday, and they do exactly what we do. Let's hang out, let's go on a run, come back, and I think they treat themselves to some adult beverages afterwards at Strang Hall, and they have a good time.
Yeah.
Is there a lawn at Strang Hall?
They like meet outside.
There is a lawn. Okay. It's a turf lawn. It's probably a 30-yard by 20-yard
cool.
area.
I was like, is this like an outdoor movie situation? I was like, what's this about?
I think they do like yoga.
Jeff's like, I'll be here when you guys get back.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm like, I got Fridays open sometimes.
I'll start with the drinks.
So funny.
I know Percheron. I mean, I literally was like getting done with Orange Theory one day. I walked outside and Eddie was coming by with his stroller.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Percheron's great.
And he was like, dude, I'm doing this run club. I was like, are you doing like Kansas Run Club? He's like, no, this is Percheron. We all go back to there and have adult beverages.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Our runners sometimes will flock
so,
to
is there a social aspect afterwards?
We used to partner with Graham Falloon there on the plaza. Everyone would go over there for a drink. But now since we've moved location, we're a little bit farther down. But this is what kind of crazy and stuck out to me is everyone used to go down there and just hang out. But now people aren't going, and they're still like hanging out for like an hour after.
Sure.
Like we don't leave until like 8:30.
Just hanging out in the park itself.
In the park right by the fountain, just talking for like an hour after. And I love it. Like you don't need to go spend money and go get a drink that's just kind of was a nice to have but no one was actually there for that. Like everyone was just there for the people.
Mm-hmm. Just another place to go,
Yeah.
especially now when we want to stay warm.
Yeah. I know it's getting
It'll come
cold,
back.
and your sweat starts to freeze at night. And I'm like 8:30, and I'm like, I gotta get out.
We are talking with the plaza to see where we can go afterwards. We are a large volume of people too, so it's like you can't just go into a bar and say, "Hey, I'm here."
Yeah,
It's going to take a little bit of coordination. So we'll have some fun with it. We'll look around.
Like
Yeah.
the inside of Ward Parkway Shopping Center, pretty empty. You guys can walk. Just saying.
You guys
I don't
you
know.
really want us to start a run?
You guys
here.
could
On the outside. We're on the outside. But I'm just saying, like, there's a ton of people that do their, like, literally every morning we come into the office, I go through the hall, like, literally through this
Are they
door
walking in there?
is the mall. Yeah. So they're open at 7 a.m. and there's a ton of walkers in here,
That's fun.
especially when it gets cold.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? So, anywho.
Good.
I've seen them. They are walking and reading books. Have you
fun.
seen this?
That's cute.
I'm an audiobook guy myself.
I'm literally like,
Like,
how are you doing that?
Yeah. There's my mom used to do the same thing on like a stationary bike, and she'd be reading as she's on a stationary bike, and I'm just like, what are we doing?
I read on the
can you
treadmill.
possibly-
I'll walk and read on the treadmill.
How much
That's
training
wild.
are you guys doing outside of running?
I needed to be doing more. I think that's one thing my calves took a hit in New York City because I wasn't lifting as much. But I lift like 3 times a week usually.
Yeah.
And then run as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to be. I'm back on lifting.
Jacob, do you lift as well?
Not at all. I don't know if you can. I don't know if my hoodie hides anything, but no, I'm purely just a runner. I should 100%.
He'll start. He's gonna start with me.
Start training in new ways. But I mean, very most recently, I've been in a season of engagement before my wedding a couple months ago, and so with that, I promised my bride that I'm not gonna be hiding from the house. I'm not gonna be hiding from you. I'm gonna be completely present as much as I can be. So I'm not gonna go on a 2-hour run every other day, and I'm just gonna be there at home. And then right after the wedding, I kicked into full throttle marathon training, and I needed 100% of my movement and energy and calories to be spent getting miles and nothing else. And so I was just trying to stay safe, go slow, and have fun with it.
Nice.
Appreciate the focus. I'm sure your wife does too.
Yes.
She a runner?
Congratulations on that. By
Thank you so much. She is a runner. I think she's a runner by community.
Yeah.
I think she may have been forced into it a little bit, but she's loving it.
She's a good runner.
She wants to hang out with her husband.
That's exactly right.
Probably got to start showing up.
Jacob, where are you going? All right, I'll be there too.
Perfect. That works out great. Last question. You guys, let's say Adri's not listening to this. What do you guys like to run in? What shoes?
I've always been a fan of the New Balance 1080s.
They're so good.
You're a 1080 fan
yeah,
as
I'm
well?
a 1080 fan. I also love the Rebels.
Were you running with those prior to Adri?
I used to run in New Balance. I do like Mizuno as well. Mizuno's really good. My only thing with Mizuno's, they're not cute. And I'm trying. They're actually just released a cute pair, but they're carbon plated. So maybe I would race in them, but they're just not my style. New Balance are like cute, and the 1080s are my fave.
Totally.
Yeah.
Before I was introduced to the 1080s, I did run in the Brooks Glycerins for about
Brooks are
2
good,
or
yeah.
3 years before we met Adri.
All right. Well, it sounds like I need to talk to Adri.
It's interesting the super shoes though that are coming out. Like a few just got banned from a few, like the Iron Man.
Yeah.
Shoes can get banned.
Yeah, three different pairs, like an Adidas pair, Adidas, Brooks, and then another one got banned. But they're like too elite,
Man.
like they're illegal.
I don't know enough of
wild.
the technical.
It sounds like it's more. It's almost.
I know.
It's almost
When-
like when MJ's first pair of Jordans was limited from being able to wear them in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, those got banned.
Shut up. Are those real shoes?
Yeah.
They were actually featured in an episode of Despicable Me, I believe, at one point.
They look like Z coils.
You know,
Yeah,
when I went to a
Remember
running
Z-coils?
store
Look that shit up.
before that first half Ironman or half marathon we did, and I was like, well, I better get running shoes because
Yeah.
I just had cross training shoes, and they put me on a treadmill, and then the guy goes,
Yeah.
"Ooh," he goes,
I bet these
"You're
bad
gonna-
boys are legal
you're
too.
you're gonna need some thick soles," and he brought me out these shoes that had soles on them that were just like, he's like, "You're a big boy. You're gonna need these."
What brand were they?
New Balance.
They were New Balance. Yeah, those are probably the 1080s. They're like the super comfy.
They're super.
Yeah.
And what?
The ones they prescribed to me. They're like, oh, dude.
Here's some clogs.
You might like the 1080s.
Yeah, I have a pair of New Balance. I wish I knew the numbers. It's like just showing my ignorance. Like I just got a pair of Sauconys.
Oh, Sauconys are good.
I
My
like 'em.
entire life just saying Saucony like an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw
Go
that
into the
episode.
shoe store.
That was hilarious.
Someone was like, don't you mean Saucony? I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I've been doing like the verbal
Oh, no.
equivalent of like broccoli in my teeth this whole time.
Oh, no.
Everybody's just laughing at me internally, just not belonging. But I put
Yeah,
on
those
this
are good.
this brand new pair of some Hokas they gave me, and they were like, they saw how like wide my feet were. Like I stepped on like the pressure point thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where they like look at where your feet are, and they were just like, dude, are you on your knees? And I was like, oh, no, that's just my feet,
Yeah.
dude. And so they brought me out to like we had to get you the wides, and if they come in the wides, just to your point, Mary, if they have to come in wides and they just can't be cute.
Yeah.
So they handed me 2 gray cinder blocks.
There you go.
And they were just like, here you go, man.
Yep.
This is a minivan of shoes. Good luck.
I have some beef with Hoka, actually. I raced Chicago in Hokas, and I got a stress fracture from it.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if...
They are some of the most returned running shoe in the United States.
Wow.
The number 1 returned running shoe.
Wow.
I know.
When it comes to walking around on them, I liked them quite a bit. When it came to jogging on them.
And that's
I
what
would recommend them for walking,
me
for
too. I
nurses.
see people, yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a few people, like really good runners, actually love Hoka. And so I'm always like, that's so crazy.
What do you guys think about Ultras?
Oh, Ultra is good. I feel like Ultra is more of like a trail running shoe, and like that's who they like kind of cater to, their demographic. But Ultra is good. They also have a really wide toe box, so like anyone that has wider feet really likes Ultras.
Those are my dailies.
Yeah.
That I wear typically.
Which have you guys ever thought about doing like an ultra marathon, or have you guys?
Yeah, I have actually. Just because women are like better at endurance sports. Maybe not better. But there's a book I read, Pursuit of Endurance, and it's all about women in endurance sports and like how we're literally created to go longer and like longer periods of time, a little slower, and men are created for like shorter, faster spurts of energy. And so I think it would be so fun to test myself.
Do you know where you would go?
I would probably just start with I would want to do like a mountain trail run, like a 50K first, and then maybe 100 miles.
I feel like Randy's the guy to talk to, right?
No, I know. I have the best
Yep.
coach. He's incredible.
What do they call it? The Leadbetter or
Leadville, 100.
Leadville?
Yeah.
That one seems pretty
You
crazy.
have to get into like Leadville. You have to get into the western states. There's a bunch that you have to like qualify for.
Leadville
Western
is
States
just
is what Randy
did.
unfortunately had that.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
bad. Yeah.
there's no end in Leadville, that you just keep running until nobody else is running. Is that right?
No, that will maybe, but that sounds like a last man standing.
Or
ultra.
last yeah.
The last man standing ultras are crazy.
Yeah.
You run till you're the last.
It's like 3 days of like good luck.
Randy won
hopefully-
that in Kansas City.
No kidding.
He ran the last man standing 2 years ago. Or 3
Wow.
years ago. Yeah.
So cool, dude.
He did like 127
So cool.
miles or something. Yeah.
I love the grit.
People are awesome.
I know. People
I
are,
know, man. So cool.
it's crazy what you can do.
Just cool that, anybody that just even like takes a step forward and says,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. Just even the commitment of saying they're going to do it and following through
Yeah.
on that, like you already won in my heart.
Yeah.
Dude, saying yes is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Very
And that's,
cool.
I feel like even just bringing it back, like showing up on Wednesday, when you're scared, when you don't know anyone, like it's so impressive. Like anyone that shows up to Run Club, I'm so proud of.
That's like the tagline we want S2's next tagline to be. Show up.
Show up.
Show up.
Show up.
Yeah.
It's
true.
good.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Resting, fall. Everything else just kind of comes in after that.
Show up for others, show up for yourself.
Even like when I'm
showing
meeting
up.
new people and they just come by, my first question is always, how'd you hear about us
Yeah.
and who'd you come with? And when they say, oh, I'm just by myself and it's my first time, I
know.
know I started the club, but I wouldn't show up by
Yeah.
myself for the first time. It's intimidating, right?
Yeah.
And so when you say, hey, just show up, it's the first step. And then that's exactly where all these friend groups happen. I mean, people are starting to date each other now. I don't know where people are hanging out, but it's such, it brings a lot of beauty to the club and to the community when it's just, hey, showing up.
Yeah.
The internet has been ablaze with the dating.
The dating run
on
clubs.
Run
Yeah.
Clubs.
Bananas.
Yeah, man.
Our people want it. Some of our runners are like, can you do like a wear black? You know, there's like all over the bunch
yeah,
of
let's
clubs
know-
will do like
let's know
wear
you're
black if you're
single.
single, color if
Yeah.
you're not. And they're like, let's do it. And we're like,
We're not going to say it from us, but you guys can
I
make
will
it the
not
unofficial
say
rule.
it, but if they
Yeah,
say it
if they wanna do it,
themselves,
they can
I'm
do
all
it.
in.
Yeah,
Right? It just can't come from me or from one of us. But
Agreed, yeah.
I do.
Protect,
Hilarious.
got to protect for what it's about.
Yeah. I do think there's a spot open in the near future for a singles only group run, just to explore what that could do to the community. I think there's some good partnerships that we could make out of that too. Of
100%.
just teaming up with some like-minded teams and just saying, hey, let's just have some fun. Let's meet each other. And I don't know if it's like, hey, let's go for a 4-mile run and come back, but having some sort of a team quality to it, to where you're going to have to actually talk to somebody. That's just,
That'd be fun.
it's exciting.
You think that'd have been a good first impression with you and Hannah? Just you run.
Hannah would have been.
Luke needs a
Fun
microphone.
fact, dude. We did a community workout like at one of the colleges or something, and she came up for that while I was like there to like, I don't know, run it more or less. And she did the event, and she was like so embarrassed she left right afterwards, didn't even talk to me. Sort of.
When was this? When was this?
I mean, like right in the beginning of us dating.
She said,
Oh.
I don't know that man.
Check
About
it
you
out.
here.
We've only been dating for like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Just talking for like 2 weeks.
Hilarious.
Shouldn't even say dating. You know what I mean? But she showed up for one of our workouts, and she was just like, felt like she was so embarrassed she left afterwards.
You changed.
Yeah, it was just funny how like, but yeah, that actually happened.
Look at him now. She stayed with him.
That's right.
Wow.
Totally.
Wow.
Anyway, you two, we've asked this question to every single one of our guests, and you're no different. I'm assuming that after you get done with this running, you could be hungry. If you are hungry and you were thinking barbecue, if you don't like barbecue, just don't say that. But if you were forced to eat it, where are you going to bring people? It's Kansas City. What's the best barbecue? Where do you bring them?
I'm taking them to what I call home, what makes me feel comfortable when I'm there with the people I do bring into the area. And so I'm going to take them to Kansas City Joe's.
Respect.
Interesting. I've never had.
We're talking the gas station location.
Gas station for sure.
I've never been there. I need to try the rest. I'm going to take them to the place I think is very underrated, and I'm obsessed, and the vibe is so good, and they have an amazing burnt ends, spicy sausage, fried jalapeno, and spicy coleslaw sandwich.
Wow.
Char Bar.
Char Bar.
It's a
love
good call.
Char Bar.
Did they
It's
pay
such
you
a
to say
good
that?
call.
No,
No.
and nobody talks about Char Bar. I'm like, Char Bar is underrated.
We
They
have
absolutely
mentioned this
get it.
on this podcast many a
Okay.
times. The Char Bar is
I love
completely
Char Bar.
underrated.
grossly underrated.
The way you
too.
described that was just colorful.
Well, it's
Yeah.
my favorite. It's my favorite thing on the menu.
We were
It's
all
so
just
good.
like, that was so many adjectives.
Dude,
Right?
I just
That's
gave you a
'cause it's a thick
location.
it's the
sandwich.
burnt in one. So is
It's
it?
burnt in and sausage.
But is it the burnt heaven?
Yeah, burnt heaven.
Yeah.
It is heavenly.
Yeah.
So
You know what's
good.
funny? We're talking about community. When I first moved to Kansas City, even before I moved to Kansas City, we had done some shows or we had worked some events that were up here. And so we went to Char Bar, and it was the first restaurant I'd ever been to that had that kind of like backyard patio
Yes.
vibe. It was the first time.
Cornhole.
Yeah, they had all these like
Yeah.
games, like outdoor games. Like, man, this is like a novel concept. Like no one else had that at the time. Now
Yeah.
it feels like it's just like every restaurant that opens has to
Yeah.
have that.
Yep.
But they were like the first to do it in Kansas City, and it was packed.
Yeah.
Brunch on the weekends was wild.
Yeah, it's so good. You can bring your dog.
Yeah.
The bonfire pit.
But yeah, the food, like they take it serious.
No, so good.
No doubt,
good.
it's
Very
underrated.
good.
Now,
so
Casey
good.
Joe's, what are you ordering?
I got to order the Z-Man every time. If there's 2 people, you get 1 fry. You split it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is it a lot?
It's a big bag.
Oh, okay.
It is. You got to have the Z-Man. It's been rated like the best sandwich in Kansas City.
Really?
It's
Forever.
an analytical, statistical, and universal fact.
Up against the burnt heaven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, it's kind of.
You
It's
don't order it,
different.
you're wrong. No, they're Zarda Barbecue in Lenexa. They actually have their own. It's called the Joe.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
It's
No
just their
way.
Z-Man. It's just, dude, it's just provolone cheese and onion ring and barbecue sauce on brisket, right?
Yeah.
Or is it on brisket? You look it up for me, please.
That sounds good.
I think it's on brisket, but they also have the Rocket Pig, dude. You like spicy?
I love spicy.
Same, but they have Rocket Pig, which has fried jalapenos on
Yeah.
it. And some
Right
other
on.
stuff, but that's their other sandwich. That's the shit. You gotta try it out.
I'll even put spicy sauce on my burnt heaven.
Looks like
Yeah,
brisket.
that looks
Looks like
so
brisket
good.
to me. I'm like, it's not that wild, right? It's like
No.
they didn't put like a ton of different things on there.
But it's good.
It's simple. It's great.
Wow.
Dude, take me to church after I have that.
I've never been to Joe's. I've been to Joe's.
It's incredible.
Respect.
So good. So good.
Hey, we love having you guys on here. Thank you for taking your time.
Yeah.
This is an unorthodox late night podcast. This is a little bit of a nightcap for all of our listeners. So if we're sounding a little different, it's just because we're out of our routine.
What? Where can everybody find you if they want to come run? Where do they need to go to find out the times?
Yeah, 3 words, Kansas Run Club. We're online on Instagram is kind of where we start and finish. We're every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. in the Country Club Plaza. We'll see you guys there.
So fun.
So awesome.
Individual
So
Instagram
awesome.
handles as well.
Yeah, I'm got Payne. Got_Payne.
PAY.
PAYNE.
Jay.
Right
There
on.
she is.
I am I'm Quijib, 4 letters. That's QYJB. And my profile picture is a self-portrait. I got nervous drawing my mouth,
Hilarious.
so I skipped that part.
You're funny.
Let's have a good time.
I love it.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on. It's very been nice talking to you guys.
Cool. We'll be back.
Love it. Appreciate
Thank
you guys.
you.
Thanks, guys.
Dude, I can't get over this drawing.
Horrible.
Did you actually draw that?